Alright, this is Brian again with Stuff to Draw, and what I want to show you here is inside of Photoshop. This is Photoshop CS6, and I want to show you how you can take a regular picture and actually apply the oil painting filter to it. Now, if you're using any version besides Photoshop CS6, if you're using the earlier version, then there's an actual filter plug-in that you can get, and you can actually get the oil painting filter in those versions free of charge. But this is Photoshop CS6. So basically what you want to do is, once you open your photo up in Photoshop, of course I've already created a duplicate layer. You want to create a duplicate layer of the image, that way you're not going to mess your original image up. And then what you will do basically is go up to the top where it says filter, and then you go down and choose the oil paint. And as you can see here, once you choose the oil painting, you have many options on the right, and you can basically adjust this however you want to make your photo look as good as you want to make it look original like an oil painting. And the stylization, you can change the stylization to however you want. This is selecting basically the stylization of the brush strokes, and if you go all the way up to 10, it doesn't really look that great, so it's good to find a happy medium basically. And usually I go down to the lowest setting, maybe 0.4. That's pretty good. And then you have the cleanliness. This sets the cleanliness of the brush strokes, and it's always best on this filter as well to set it pretty low. If you go up high, it's going to give you a little more, or a lot more texture actually. So you just have to play with it according to your photo that you're using. And then the scale, this is actually the scale of the brush strokes. You can change how short that you want your brush strokes, or if you go up to a higher number, it's how long you want your brush strokes. And it's always best if you scale your brush strokes kind of in the middle, I guess, toward the lower end. That way it looks a little bit better. If you go all the way up, to me it just looks unnatural. I usually like to go about 1.00 or a little bit higher. And then the bristle detail, you can set the bristle detail that you want to of the brush strokes. And most all of these settings, basically, you kind of want to go either in the middle of the settings or down toward the lower end. And the lighting, you got your angular direction on the lighting. This is also really good if you set it kind of on the lower end as well. And then last, you have the shine of the reflections. See, if I turn it all the way up, man, it just looks awful. So you really want to keep this mostly all the way down. If you go all the way down, it almost like it takes away the painting effect altogether. So if you want to put this around 0.25, that's really a good happy medium to do, or around 0.45. And then you hit your OK button. Now you can leave it as is if you want to, but if you want to go and do something different to it, you can also go to the art history brush. And I usually take the brush and I start at number 8, basically the 8 pixel brush on the art history brush, and I go over the whole painting basically with it. If you skip a little spot here and there, it's not that big of a deal. But don't swipe it up and down. Just go one stroke across your painting. It's going to look pretty much blurred once you do it the first time. But then you want to go down and grab the same brush and make it a number 6. And then you want to do the same thing. You want to just kind of swipe across the painting. And what this is doing here is, as you lower your brush size with the art history brush, it is actually starting to restore a little bit more of the actual image when we first used the oil paint filter. And some images you can find that if you want to leave it like it is without doing the history brush, you can. But then if you want to just use the number 8 and then the number 6 brush size and sweep across it with the art history brush, you can also do that. And it still looks a little blurred. Typically I usually do a number 4 next. It's really like you start with an 8, go to 6, go to 4, then go to 2, then go to 1. And by the time you get down and you run the number 1 brush across, it just really makes it more like an oil painting. And this one here won't be too bad by the time we get through running the number 4 brush across it. But I am going to drop down and go to the number 2 brush on this as well, just to restore just a little bit more of it. So here's the number 2 brush. This just helps take away a lot of the blurriness that the number 8 brush originally gave you. And it just really makes it look more clean and more of a natural oil painting. And I'm going to stop there on this one. And if you want to go back to the filter again and you want to do oil paint again, you can actually go in and apply as much of these filters as you want to. And I'm only going to actually change the shine on it, give it just a little bit more of a shine. And there you go. That makes it look more like an oil painting, and it really, you can really see some of the canvas up in here, that you can see a little bit of the texture here, that it takes it and looks more than just like a picture. It gives it just a tad bit of a blur that you would get when you're using oil paint. But the art history brush filters will actually help enhance your photo, make it look more realistic like an oil painting. Or you can just use the oil painting filter, and if you find that you're happy with it, then you can just stick with that and not use the art history brushes. And it really does good. It makes any picture look like a oil painting. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, be sure to subscribe to my channel to get more tips and tricks using Photoshop, creating Photoshop brushes, using ArtRage 4, and even drawing with graphite pencil and all sorts of things. So subscribe to my YouTube channel, and happy drawing.